What if your entire life was spent chasing a goal that meant nothing on your final day? Look past the obvious targets: a good job, a family, a comfortable house. What is the fundamental pursuit that makes all other efforts feel worthwhile? This query strikes at the heart of why we're here. It searches for the singular ambition that infuses our days with significance. Get this wrong, and you risk looking back with profound regret. We often meander through existence, snatching at short-term cravings or mapping out decades, yet seldom pausing to ask this defining question. Modern life encourages this avoidance. It glorifies distraction and fills every silence with input. But imagine you stopped. What hidden truths about your core identity might you uncover? An authentic life philosophy requires a primary guiding objective. Without a North Star, you lack a reliable map for your journey. Why is this so critical? Because it's entirely possible to fill your years with enjoyment, hobbies, and laughter, only to face a terrifying epiphany as your time runs out. You were so consumed by life's pleasant diversions that you overlooked its central mission. Suppose you pinpoint your main ambition. You might even defend its importance convincingly. Without a concrete method, you still face likely disappointment. Therefore, the second element of a life philosophy is a strategy. The routine behaviors that systematically increase your likelihood of achieving your paramount concern. We have no issue consulting professionals to avoid fiscal loss. Financial advisors assist in defining economic targets and plotting a course to meet them. But what about the erosion of your lifetime? A guide for living would fulfill this need. They would help you evaluate your aims, mediate when they conflict, and create an order of priority. Your ultimate life goal occupies the highest rank, the one you never compromise for lesser ends. This mentor would then assist in formulating a plan to progress toward it. Where does one locate such a guide? A college's philosophy faculty will contain experts in ethics, political theory, or metaphysics. You can find scholars of film, gender, or even the philosophy of science. However, you will not find a life philosopher as we require. History differed. Ancient thinkers from Greece and Rome believed philosophy's chief role was to better human life. They engaged with abstract reasoning and natural science, but always as instruments for crafting a superior mode of existence. They didn't confine their insights to scholarly debates. They established academies. Any person desiring improvement could attend. Various institutions promoted distinct visions. The Cynics preached extreme self-sufficiency. The Cyrenaics elevated sensory pleasure above all. Between these poles existed traditions like the Epicureans, the Skeptics, and most importantly for our purposes, the Stoics, initiated by Zeno. For them, philosophy was a treatment for psychological suffering. As Epicurus declared, empty is that philosopher's argument by which no human suffering is therapeutically addressed. This space is for those seeking that treatment, a functional philosophy for living. The early Stoics constructed one, and its power remains. Anyone aspiring to a productive, contented life should take note. Today, I'll convey counsel from those Stoic thinkers 2 millennia past. My focus isn't theoretical or antiquarian, it's resolutely applied. I live by this framework and assist others in doing the same. The Stoics would have approved. The foremost reason for learning their doctrine is implementation. Recall, Stoicism operates as both a worldview and an advanced psychological model. The Stoics recognized that an existence ruled by destructive passions, rage, worry, dread, sorrow, jealousy, is a poor one. They transformed into some of antiquity's most insightful psychologists by studying mental operations with great care. They subsequently invented methods to block harmful emotions from forming and to quell them when prevention failed. Who wouldn't desire to diminish the volume of negative feelings we encounter daily? Inner calm is your most valuable asset. guard it fiercely. My adult life has involved philosophical study, but Stoicism provided a unique operating system. Here, I intend to reactivate its core principles for the contemporary inquirer. As noted, a life philosophy indicates what merits pursuit and what does not, and offers a route to the worthy ends. The Stoics selected tranquility, a mental condition featuring few damaging emotions and many positive ones, particularly a deep-seated joy as the highest good. They presumed most individuals would eventually acknowledge its worth. To design their blueprint for achieving serenity, the Stoics turned into astute analysts of human psychology. They investigated what disrupts our equilibrium, how can we prevent those disruptions, and how can we swiftly restore our balance when it's lost. From this research, they compiled a series of disciplines. 1. Daily self-assessment. We must monitor our conduct as we move through our routines. Consistently audit your responses. When faced with provocation, loss, or pressure, did you employ Stoic mental tools? 2. Deploy rationality to govern your appetites. Use logical argument to convince yourself that acclaim, riches, and social position aren't inherently valuable, especially if they jeopardize your inner stillness. Likewise, reason can reveal that some enjoyable acts disrupt your peace more than the pleasure they provide. 3. If prosperity arrives unsought, relish it. The Stoics, unlike the austere cynics, weren't opposed to comfort. Savor financial security, but don't become attached. Even while enjoying it, reflect on its temporary nature. 4. Acknowledge our innate sociability. We are wired for community. Solitude breeds discontent. Thus, forge and maintain bonds, but be selective in your associations. Steer clear of individuals with poor principles to avoid adopting their flawed outlooks. Others will inevitably frustrate us. The Stoics dedicated much thought to minimizing relational friction, especially techniques for absorbing insults without anger. They diagnosed 2 root causes of human distress: our bottomless appetite for more and our habit of agonizing over uncontrollable events. They engineered countermeasures for each. To manage perpetual wanting, they advocated premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Everything is fleeting. Habitually envision losing what you treasure, your assets, your people, your own vitality. This drill fosters appreciation for your present holdings, weakening the urge for further acquisition. Don't merely consider that circumstances could deteriorate. Occasionally induce mild hardship voluntarily. Seneca recommended periodic humble living. Musonius counseled deliberately rejecting ease when offered. To halt fretting over the ungovernable, they taught the threefold classification of control. Divide life's components into items beyond your influence, those entirely within your command, and those you can affect but not dictate. Then categorically dismiss anxiety over the first group. Direct your attention to the second, your character and intentions, and the third, your actions. This slashes superfluous worry. When dealing with partly controllable endeavors, internalize your aims. In a basketball game, your objective shouldn't be score the most points, but execute every play with maximum focus and effort. Regarding external events, adopt fatalism toward the past and present. They are immutable, so resenting them is irrational. Accept reality as it stands. As systematic thinkers, the Stoics felt obliged to defend their system's validity. Their foundational proof rested on the premise that a rational deity fashioned humans for a specific function: to flourish. Living in agreement with nature meant aligning with this divine, logical design to prosper. A contemporary viewer might reject this theological basis, yet we can transpose the Stoic wisdom into a modern evolutionary context. Humanity developed via biological mechanisms, not intentional creation. Our mental tendencies, fear, worry, drives for pleasure, and rank evolved because they aided survival and gene propagation, not necessarily happiness. Natural selection is indifferent to our emotional welfare. It favors reproductive success. Our ancestral history clarifies why we feel physical pain to prevent harm, fear to escape danger, and chronic dissatisfaction to seek advantage. It also illuminates our social nature and status anxiety. Low-ranking ancestors risked resource deprivation. Your brain's ancient wiring can be rewired with conscious thought. The crucial insight: we possess the faculty of reason. We can employ it to comprehend our evolutionary predispositions and then effectively reprogram them. We can utilize our cognition not to better fulfill these archaic impulses, but to override them when they hinder our modern well-being. We can conclude that the sting of an insult, once a survival signal, is now counterproductive. We can understand that our ceaseless craving for more, once adaptive, now sabotages our contentment. We can see that much modern anxiety springs from threats that are no longer real. Without knowledge of evolutionary theory, the Stoics devised mental exercises that accomplish precisely this, helping us rise above the elements of our hard wiring that generate unhappiness. In this way, Stoicism functions as a cure. The ailment is the distress spawned by toxic emotions. The treatment is the consistent practice of Stoic disciplines. They had a faulty hypothesis for its efficacy, akin to medieval doctors using moldy bread without understanding bacteria. The treatment worked despite the incorrect explanation. A skeptic might propose we have modern solutions like pharmaceuticals. Why adopt an ancient mindset when you can use a tablet? Consider a parallel. Facing obesity, a physician will first advise lifestyle modification, diet, and exercise before recommending drugs or surgery. The foundational approach is safer, has broader benefits, and builds capability that transfers to other domains. So too with Stoicism. It cultivates resilience and self-reliance. You gain confidence in your capacity to meet adversity, independent of external aids. It also amplifies your potential for authentic delight, something a chemical cannot provide. My version of Stoicism is a reassembly for present-day application, synthesized from classical texts. The original Stoics didn't produce a single handbook. Disciples learned through direct instruction. I've had to mold their raw material into a contemporary shape. Stoics throughout history have always adapted the doctrine. Seneca asserted, "I am not subservient to any single master. I too have a voice." I consider Stoicism an implement. Discovering it was like finding a dusty, masterfully crafted tool in an old workshop. I polished it, tested it, and modified a couple of components. To my great satisfaction, it performs brilliantly, often outshining modern alternatives. Who is Stoicism for? Primarily, the individual whose highest priority is unshakable calm. If you prize intense sensation or worldly accolades above peace, look elsewhere. But once you elect serenity as your summit, you must still choose from systems that share this destination. Stoicism, Epicureanism, skepticism, Zen. Which is superior? That hinges on your temperament and situation. No single solution fits all. Some possess a Stoic disposition naturally. They are resilient, thankful, and internally directed. Others are perpetually external, convinced fulfillment must be delivered from the outside. They will dismiss Stoicism immediately. Most of us occupy a middle zone, navigating by habit until a catalyst, a tragedy, an insight propels us to seek direction. Then the mission is not to locate the objectively true philosophy, but the one that resonates with you personally. I explored Zen Buddhism, but found its emphasis on non-thinking clashed with my analytical mind. Stoicism, which harnesses logic, aligned perfectly. This isn't philosophical relativism. I'm not claiming all objectives hold equal merit. If your supreme aim is self-inflicted agony, you are simply incorrect. But if your goal is peace and your strategy involves seeking celebrity to attain it, I'd challenge the soundness of that plan. Selecting a life philosophy resembles choosing a life partner. The optimal match depends on the individual. Perfection is mythical, and a compatible, good enough choice is infinitely better than no choice at all. How then does one begin practicing Stoicism? First, adopt covert Stoicism. Don't proclaim your new practice. Sidestep the social cost of being misunderstood. People will observe a change in you, which you can address later if necessary. Second, avoid attempting all techniques simultaneously. Commence with a single practice. Negative visualization is an excellent starting point. In quiet moments, deliberately imagine being deprived of your most valued blessings, your well-being, your relationships, your senses. This isn't pessimistic. It engineers a powerful present-moment thankfulness. It acts like a spice. A small amount radically improves the taste of the daily experience. The difficulty lies in consistency. When life is smooth, we naturally stop practicing. I anchor the habit to an existing activity, like my morning walk, converting idle time into purposeful mental training. Next, become proficient with the control classification. Analyze each concern. Can I control this? If not, deliberately release the worry. If you can influence it, focus solely on your own input, not the result. This simple framework is remarkably potent, even when advising worried loved ones. I sometimes cite Marcus Aurelius. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Internalize your objectives. In any undertaking, define success as giving your utmost, not attaining a particular outcome. This neutralizes the fear of failure. Also embrace fatalism for the past and present. They are finished and unchangeable. Resisting them is a futile expenditure of energy. A major adversary of peace is other people, notably their ability to offend us. A curious transformation happened within me. I started to appreciate insults. They became drills for my Stoic skills. I catalog them. When one arrives, I dissect it, classify it, and treat it as practice. Since slights often arrive unexpectedly, this preparedness is vital. A peer once remarked that my analysis was either profoundly unethical or dangerously naive. In the past, this would have ignited indignation. That day, I replied with playful agreement, perhaps it's a compelling mix of both. By declining to engage in the conflict, I revealed the insult's powerlessness and retained my composure. Anger is a virulent poison to serenity. I've observed how anger possesses its own vitality, hiding and then erupting unexpectedly. Seneca was only partially correct. Expressing rage offers a temporary release, like indulging a sugar craving. But the subsequent crash is worse, and the habit strengthens. Much anger is also utterly futile. Cursing another motorist trapped in their own vehicle does nothing but agitate you. Humor and perspective are powerful correctives. I sometimes frame irritating situations as scenes from a satirical novel, seeking the inherent absurdity. Seneca noted that laughter is often the most fitting reply to life's irritations. Beyond cognitive methods, Stoics recommend voluntary discomfort. This is for practiced adherents. Sometimes choose slight hardship, wear less in the cold, skip the heater or air conditioner, pursue demanding physical training. I began rock climbing and cold showers. Climbing induces fear, strain, and occasional falls. Cold exposure triggers a primal shock. These endeavors build willpower and demonstrate your capacity to withstand and even grow from difficulty. They also produce nervous energy, the flutter of potential public failure. I now seek out this feeling, pursuing activities like public speaking or performing music to deliberately encounter it. Why invite anxiety? To build psychological immunity. After delivering a difficult lecture, lesser challenges seem trivial. You accumulate reference experiences that prove your resilience. I frame this as a contest with my primitive self, the instinct-driven entity that seeks only comfort and immediate gratification. This primitive self is indolent and timid. To defeat him, I must force him to endure manageable hardship and deny him certain fleeting pleasures. When he is afraid, I must compel him to act despite the fear. Why play this game? To forge self-mastery. Without it, your life's trajectory is set by external forces and biological urges. With it, you become the author of your own story. Another advanced step is voluntary simplicity. As Stoic values take root, desires naturally simplify. My clothing choices became basic and functional. I delayed upgrading my phone. Shopping centers now seem bizarre. I observe others hunting for desires to temporarily quench. This evolution wasn't a struggle of willpower. It sprang from a visceral understanding that these possessions add negligible lasting value to my happiness. I've passed a point of no return in consumer culture. A strange byproduct of Stoic training is a paradoxical readiness for crisis. You prepare for storms, and in calm weather, you might feel an odd desire for your skills to be tested to confirm their strength. Seneca observed that a wise person might welcome minor injuries as opportunities to demonstrate virtue. I've experienced this during a medical scare when I feared a serious diagnosis. My secondary reaction was to analyze my own Stoic response. It was a meta, almost clinical moment of self-observation. The final examination approaches with aging. Observing many elderly individuals, I find few inspiring examples. Their common advice is a resigned, "Don't get old." Stoicism equips you for this chapter. When my father faced a debilitating illness, Stoic principles provided the only genuine comfort. I helped him internalize goals around therapy, used negative comparison. You regained speech, that's a victory, and witnessed him find exquisite pleasure in a simple breeze through a window. Observing him was a premonition of my own future, underscoring the necessity of this preparation. Has Stoicism delivered perfect, unbroken calm? No, but it has made me significantly more steady. Destructive emotions are managed, not eliminated. I am far less prone to irritation, less haunted by hypothetical disasters, less plagued by a sense of lack. Negative visualization transformed my baseline from taking things for granted to a state of quiet appreciation, and I encounter flashes of what I can only term joyous awe, a wordless gladness at the sheer fact of being conscious in this universe. I've learned to welcome these moments without skepticism. Doubts persist. In environments of material success, I sometimes feel Seneca's hidden prick, the whisper that maybe I've chosen wrongly. What if the conventional path is right? Yet, across wisdom traditions, the consensus of the most profound thinkers points inward, not outward. We inhabit a realm of uncertainty. The risk of following Stoicism seems far smaller than the risk of following no deliberate path at all, or of chasing phantoms that promise but cannot deliver peace. The greatest trials are likely ahead. I am grateful to have this framework. There is no irrefutable logical proof, only a strong probabilistic case for the right person. The practice demands less energy than the energy squandered in undirected living. You can experiment privately, discontinue if it doesn't serve you, and be none the poorer. But you might just discover an entirely different way to experience your one life. If this exploration added value to your day, please show your support by liking this video. It helps Stoic mindset mastery grow and share these ideas further. Thank you for your time and attention.